Hey friends, so sorry for the mic quality right now. I haven't had the time to set up my mic or my streaming setup at all in my dorm quite yet. But right now I am talking to apologize about how late this episode is. This episode was recorded early August, and right now it is late September. Soon we will be back to a schedule, but I am currently in my first semester of my freshman year of college, so I am very busy. But do not worry, me and Allie are working together to figure out times to record and to post. That's enough talking for me. I hope you enjoy our episode on the Axeman of New Orleans.
One.
Hello!
Welcome back to the grave.
Yes.
Oh, I need to switch my screen. Screen has
My
been switched.
mic was
There you go.
nowhere near my face, but that's okay. You can probably hear me anyways.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. There we go. Okay. Well, let's. Hello, everybody. Hello, people in chat. Hi. Hello. Hello. Today we're covering the Axeman of New Orleans.
I do want to talk a little bit first because I love talking about random things before it starts.
Oh, same.
Just because I want to talk about the fact that I started playing Pokemon Go again today.
Oh.
Because my sister, we were out to lunch, and one of my sisters, I was like, "Why are you on your phone, Annie?" And she's like, "I'm playing Pokemon Go." And me and my sister Maddie were like, "Okay, let's get Pokemon Go." So now, we all play Pokemon Go together, and we were at the restaurant, and we had a ride home, but we opted to walk the long way home just so that we could play more Pokemon Go.
Oh, I think we have some new people in my chat. So basically, an introduction for those that are new on podcast apps, YouTube. Here, if this is your first time watching it, hi, I'm Lilac, and then this
I'm
is
Ginny.
Ginny Graves, and this is our little true crime podcast that we do. So yeah, I update on my life. I start school in 3 days, and I am not excited.
I moved to college in, what day is it? My move-in day is in 10 days.
Oh wow. Oh, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah, I'm moving to a whole other state. So that's
gonna
fun.
be fun.
It's gonna be fun. I'm quite excited. It's just like getting real, and I'm like a little scared, but also
Yeah.
because of it all, we're gonna have to like stop doing the podcast for a bit, which is really upsetting.
The
Because like,
stream.
yeah, I've got to like get to know people. Like I already know my roommate. I have a couple of friends. I told Lilac about this, but I would love to tell you guys. So I met a friend who's going to the same college as me, and we were talking about how she likes Twitch streamers. I was like, yeah, I'm also a Twitch streamer, but I just stream a podcast. And she was like, okay, I'll check it out. And she was like, I was checking out your podcast and I was like, your co-host looks really familiar. So I looked them up on TikTok and saw that I've been following them since before they started streaming.
Oh my god!
So like,
Shout out.
and
Her
this
name
is
Hannah,
like
right?
Hannah. Yes, I was like,
Shout out to Hannah.
yes, but I was like, what? Like I'm going to a college where I've literally never met anybody before besides
Yeah.
like when I went there, and like I happened to just meet somebody that like knows of Lilac. Like that's fucking crazy.
That's so insane. All right, I think we
Okay.
should jump straight into
Yes.
it. Okay, so
This is your
Axeman
case.
of New Orleans. Yes,
Yes, this is
my
Lilac's case today.
I will say, I wanted the Black Dahlia to win. I told
It'll
my
win
mods.
one day.
I told everybody, vote for the Black Dahlia, and nope.
I literally went on all of my Twitter accounts and voted for the Black Dahlia on every single one, and it still didn't win.
But it's fine, because this case is still really interesting.
Yes.
I really enjoyed researching it. So, the Axeman of New Orleans. This happened around 1918, which little prefaces on a 1918 that I got from Morbid. Thank you, Morbid. We love Morbid. This was during the Spanish influenza moment. So there was like a lot of like chaos and
Wait,
fear
the influenza
going on.
moment. I just realized that you said that.
Moment. Yeah. Oops, my bad. Yeah, the Spanish
it was
influenza,
really a moment.
flu.
Like,
but yeah, the Spanish flu was going on around the 1980s.
Mhm.
And so that caused like a lot of fear, panic.
did you say
infection.
1980s?
1918. Damn it.
Oh, Maybe you said
1918,
1918.
yeah.
I'm having
I
a
think I said
day, and I just
1980s.
realized there
I said
is
1980s.
you are like really low on my computer, so I just cannot hear what you're saying. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I think I said 1980s. My bad.
Okay.
1918. So the 1910s was when the Spanish influenza was going around. So that caused obviously a lot of fear and panic. And in New Orleans, it was like the epicenter, which was like where it was mostly going on the strongest. So more panic. And what is another way to add more panic? Having a serial killer walking around. So the
Yeah.
Axeman of New Orleans started on May of 1918 and would kill for around 18 months, was responsible for 12 attacks and 6 killings. Here's the funny thing about the Axeman of New Orleans. Never used his own tools. He would steal the tools from the victims' houses and then use them to kill them. And it was usually an axe.
Everybody's
And
got
he
an
would leave.
axe.
So everybody's got an axe at these times. It's like when woodwork is really
Yeah.
big.
You can get at most, of course, yeah, it makes sense you can get it off Amazon. You can also buy Axe
Yeah.
deodorant, which makes sense, but that's not what I was asking for, Amazon.
Yeah. So he would use an axe that belonged to the victims, use them to kill them, and then leave them at the crime scene. And it's infuriating that they like fingerprinting wasn't a big thing at the time.
I don't think it was
So
a thing at all. It was
it was a thing.
1918.
It was a thing actually, but it wasn't predominantly used in cases. It was like really rare.
Okay, now I want to see when did finger hello fingerprinting start? 1892.
Damn.
They had
That's more than I thought. That's
the idea of fingerprint. Okay. Yeah, that the idea of fingerprints did start in the 14th century, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Continue.
But okay. So, let's start with the first attack. May 23rd, 1918, and I have the direct address. You can literally go to this house.
When I went to New Orleans with my family, I was like, guys, can I go to the houses? And they were like, no, you're insane. So we didn't go.
So it was at 4901 Magnolia Street. That's the first suspected attack. The victims, I'm just gonna let me open this tablet so I can read more of it. I got so many details. So, let's start this off by saying, we don't know who the Axeman is, obviously. Who was never caught. It's an unsolved case, but we do know that he was a fucking racist. And we say this because most of his victims were Italian American grocers.
Which I have to say, like, asshole, but very specific. Like, not just Italian, not just grocers, Italian American grocers. Like, that is like, it really sucks that he did that, of course, but, like, what a specific victim profile.
And keep that in mind, actually, the Italian American grocers, because that's going to come in handy for one of the suspects. I think there's, like, only one main suspect. But the first victims were Catherine and Joseph Maggio. I think it's Maggio. They were struck with an axe on the head, and a straight razor was used to slice their throats. Their throats were sliced first, and then they were struck in the head. It was so bad that Catherine had almost been entirely decapitated when she was found. Yeah. That. Ooh.
I think it's Maggio.
Maggio, I think. Yeah, Maggio.
I decided to actually open your notes this time instead of just, like, trusting what you're saying. Not that I don't trust you. It's just helpful to also have the notes open for me.
So Catherine had almost been entirely decapitated, and Joseph suffered many, many injuries. The bodies were found by Joseph's brothers, Jake and Andrew, who lived in the same house, just like in a different area. Nothing was heard or seen.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like a house that had, like, different, like, a
was
building
it like
with,
a
like,
duplex
in it. I think so.
I stayed in a duplex when I was in New Orleans, so, like,
it was on top of the grocery store that they owned. So it was like the grocery store they owned, and then the building was on top, and it had like 2 living areas within it.
Yeah.
So
I think
nothing
that's called
was
a
heard or
duplex.
seen. Yeah, I think so. Nothing was heard or seen. No valuables were taken. The bottom panel of the kitchen door was knocked out using a chisel, and all that they found at the crime scene was the axe, and that was it.
So he
And
took
yes,
the razor.
they didn't find it, so maybe he
Mhm.
did. Italian Americans. They were Italian Americans, and they lived on an apartment on top of the grocery store that they owned. There were jewels and money in plain sight, but they were not touched, so it wasn't a robbery motivated murder. You know.
Mhm.
They found bloody clothes from the murderer, so literally this guy had a whole change of clothes
I wonder if he
while
stole their
leaving.
clothes.
Maybe, most likely.
Mhm.
Oh, they did find the straight razor, actually.
Okay.
So the straight razor that they used belonged to Andrew Maggio, and Andrew had a barber shop, and the employee told the police that Andrew had removed the razor from his shop 2 days prior to the murder and said that he wanted to get it fixed.
Mm.
So, a little suspicious on his end, but they didn't have anything to, like, believe that it was him.
Yeah.
They were found 2 hours after the attack, which is terrifying. And Andrew became once again the prime suspect, but he was released because they couldn't find anything
Mhm.
against them. Fingerprinting did exist, but it wasn't a standard procedure, which fucking sucks. Cause we could have found this man, could have found that man, but they
Mhm.
didn't. And
Yeah, but they didn't have like it probably existed, but it probably didn't work as well as it does now because it's not like there's a database where you get like
yeah, I was
fingerprinted
thinking no
whenever like
databases.
and there's the only time that you would be able to like I would think that like in this specific police department if they had gotten those fingerprints the only time they could match them is if they manually went through all the fingerprints that they found
Yeah,
and
exactly. That
that
would take
the
forever.
the person would have had to probably have been arrested once before so that
Hmm.
they would have their fingerprints on file. So it just as much
Exactly.
as it like sucks it wasn't standard procedure, there was probably reasoning for that because it
Yeah,
just wasn't
because
as
no
easy as it.
databases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it wasn't
Okay.
easy, it wasn't as useful.
Yeah. So June 28th, 1918, and this is the second attack. Near corner of Jesus, how the hell do you say this name? Dorjanoy? Dorjanoy?
I'm gonna look it up.
Dor I'm just gonna say Dorjanoy. I think that's how it was said.
Wait, I'm looking it up.
Let's go, let's
Oh,
go.
I don't think you're very correct.
Oh boy.
Play. I don't
Let's see.
play. That
What?
also doesn't sound right.
That
This just sounds like a very American man, like half
yeah.
attempting to do like a French accent. I don't think you're right. Dorgenois.
Dorjanoy?
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds better.
Dorjanoy and La Harpe Streets. The victims were Louise Bessemer and Anna Lowe, and they were discovered by a baker by the name of John Zanaka while he was making morning deliveries. Um, Once again, they were Italian Americans and they lived behind their grocery store. So John would find a panel of the door, like they would find a chisel in the back stairs and up the axe in the bathroom. So basically, what the murderer was doing was using a chisel to like chisel open like a small little panel of the door and like crawl his way through it, which makes you think that he's a pretty skinny man, because it was like a how they said the dimensions. It was like a 5 by 8, I
You
think.
also could have used it to reach his arm up. He could be
Yeah,
like a
that's what they did
tall,
say.
like a reach their his arm up and like unlock the door.
Unlock the door. But the thing is that one of the crime scenes, I don't remember which one, but the door was locked.
You could, when you leave, you can reach your hand up and relock it.
Oh, that is true. I didn't think of that. But yes, so they would find a chisel in the back stairs and the bloody axe in the bathroom. They lived once again behind a grocery store, and once again they were Italian American. Louise would survive, but Anna would only survive 7 weeks before passing away.
Oh.
That's sad. Anna supposedly recounted to the police that a large white man with a hatchet attacked them. The bottom panel of the bedroom door was broken, and another axe was found at the scene. So an axe and a chisel is what they found.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I wrote that down twice. Never mind. August 5th, 1918. The location for this one isn't known there isn't much on this victim. They called her Mrs. Ed Schneider, like after her husband. They didn't give her her own name. So, she woke up to a figure looming over her. She screamed right as the axe came down on her noggin.
Noggin is such
So,
a fun word. Sorry. I
it
like
is.
shouldn't be laughing after you talk about somebody screaming with the axe hitting them, but noggin just like it's a I feel like it's a very southern way of saying it, and like we're both
Yeah.
southern so it makes sense, but like
Yeah,
it's
it
still
makes
funny.
sense.
Anyways,
Yeah.
continue. I shouldn't have laughed at
Uh,
that.
the scream woke their neighbors, and one of the sources said that her neighbors found them, and the other one said it was her husband. I watched BuzzFeed Unsolved and Morbid. Morbid said neighbors, BuzzFeed said husband. So
Okay.
it's one or the other. The scream woke up the neighbors, and she was found with her head bashed in and missing many teeth. She was found in the afternoon at her home, and she was still alive and was rushed to the charity hospital, and she reportedly survived the attack. Now here's the fun fact. She was fucking pregnant. But she survived, and a week after the attack, she successfully gave birth. What a like badass woman. Good for her. Good for her. So happy for her. Like, props. That's amazing. Imagine being able to survive an axe attack and then just like a badass woman give birth like a week later.
Yeah, goddamn.
Goddamn. The stealth. The stealth.
It's been a while since I've seen the BuzzFeed Unsolved video, but didn't they say that it was like they called the baby like Axe Baby or something like that?
Baby, yeah, a nice baby.
Yeah.
I was laughing at that. I was like, you did not. You did not. So their axe was missing from their shed. So once again, he used the victim's weapon to kill them and then left them at the crime scene. August 10th, 1918, near, what is it with these street names? Tonti, I think it's Tonti, and Gravier Street. The victim was an 80-year-old Joseph Romano, obviously by
What
the
is
last name
why
Romano, Italian.
why so many old people? Like, yeah,
I don't
they've
know.
lived a full life, but they've lived a full life and this is how they go?
Yeah, like imagine me, like I wouldn't want to be able to like, I want to be like I've talked about this with my friend Hattie. Like we want to be like in control and like know like when our time is up, not be attacked while you were able to like imagine being able to survive 80 years and not even just like unexpectedly getting attacked.
Yeah.
That would piss spirit me off.
Yeah, that would piss me off as well.
I would haunt that man. I will haunt his ass. Be like, you took my life. I might have been 80, but I wanted to be in control, motherfucker, not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. I would have haunted his ass. For sure. So, he was Italian as well, obviously by the last name Romano. Found by his nieces Pauline and Mary after they heard him struggling.
I love the name Pauline.
Pauline is a pretty name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they heard him struggling in his room, and they went in, and his head was bashed in. And the girls allegedly saw the attacker, and they described him as, this is very weird, dark, tall, heavy set, wearing a dark suit and a black slouch hat. Like, imagine committing your attacks wearing a suit and a hat.
I mean, you gotta look spiffy. It's the Roaring It's almost the Roaring Twenties. Like,
yeah,
you gotta
but
look
like
spiffy.
being like, I'm gonna be a spiffy ass murderer.
Spiffy.
Spiffy. I'm gonna wear a suit. I'm gonna wear a hat.
What is a slouch hat?
I don't. Both sources that I heard, they were all confused on what a slouch hat was. They were all like, "What is that? What is it?"
It's like a half cowboy hat.
No.
Like it looks like a cowboy hat, but only half of it is folded up.
Oh, that's weird.
If you're gonna like, there's also this, which who in the hell could ever wear that?
No, absolutely not. I don't think that's what good old Axeman decided to wear.
Why would you wear a 3D printed hat? Sorry, I keep getting really distracted. Anyways, continue.
So, yeah, he was a spiffy murderer, decided to wear a suit and a hat. Joseph would unfortunately die 2 days later. So around this time, which is August 1918, the New Orleans State because I heard state on Morbid and I couldn't hear what he said on the other one, so I think it's state. The New Orleans State newspaper, dang it, I can't speak today.
It's all right.
Allegedly recounted, armed men are keeping watch over their sleeping families while the police are seen to solve the mysteries of the axe attacks. Extra police are being put to work daily. Seemed to work for around 7 months because there weren't attacks for 7 months, but there were many appearances. So let's start with those.
Okay.
August 11th, 1918. The killer was apparently seen masquerading as a woman. A man discovered an axe and a chisel outside of his back door, meaning that the door was like too thick for the killer to cut the hole through it. So a manhunt was organized after this, but it was unsuccessful. 10 days later, on the 21st of August, 1918, a man was seen leaping the back fence into a property. Once again, a search party was organized, but the man was not found. And then late August, the rear door of Paul Lobello's home was chiseled through, but nobody was home.
Mhm.
And then that same day, Joseph LaBouffe reported that there was an attempt of someone chiseling his back door, but he was able to scare the intruder away after he was woken up by the sound, and an axe was dropped on the steps. And then the following day, another axe was found in the yard of another grocer, and chisel marks were also found on his door. So it was like a very common attack method. Wouldn't you call it like MO or something? I think.
MO, yeah. It
Yeah,
was his
MO.
MO to like chisel doors, and that's an interesting MO, but like I guess
Yeah,
it worked at some points.
Like at this point, you only have like a 50% accuracy of actually getting people.
I
Like
feel like he probably has less at this point. Like,
yeah, like a good 25%.
yeah, he's
Because
trying. I
he's
think he should
trying.
stop
He
trying.
should stop trying. He didn't. Um, September 15th, 1918, Italian grocer, once again Italian, named Paul Durrell, found that someone also attempted to come through his rear door. But here's the thing that made me laugh. A case of tomatoes was resting against the panel that was being cut and stopped the chisel. This
Tomatoes.
man,
Tomatoes have been my favorite food my entire life, and I knew it was for a good fucking reason. Like, goddamn.
got saved by a case of tomatoes.
I want a case of tomatoes just because I like tomatoes. Tomatoes are
Really?
so good. Like, I'll
I don't
eat like
tomatoes by themselves.
really, I'll eat like grape tomatoes
No.
like candy, and sometimes I'll get a big tomato and slice it up and put some salt on it and just like eat it.
Ooh.
I love
But
tomatoes.
yeah, this man really got saved by a case of tomatoes.
I mean,
Like,
props to him.
props to him. Like, at this point, everybody should have a case of tomatoes at their back door.
Yeah,
Or at any
agreed.
door.
I just want a case of tomatoes. Just like if somebody's attacking you and they get blocked by a case of tomatoes and they like start walking away, open the door and start pelting the tomatoes at them. Like fucking like that theater shit.
Yeah.
You look so confused.
I don't know, my brain just blanked out for some reason.
I was like, is pelting tomatoes not something that you were aware is possible? Because like you can throw tomatoes.
No,
at people.
I think this person in my chat got confused because they think that they opened the door with the case of tomatoes. No, the case of tomatoes blocked him from opening the door.
He was trying to chisel the door, but when he got through the door, there was a case of tomatoes in his way.
So he couldn't get through and kill the person. That's why I was confused, because I was thinking, I'm like, did we say something wrong?
I was thinking, I was like, do you not understand that like throwing tomatoes at people is something that you can do?
I throw tomatoes at people. Yeah.
I was like, I feel like that was pretty self-explanatory. Or I was sitting there, I was like, was my joke just like not funny? Because you like look really confused. I was like, I know I'm not really that funny, but I'm kind of offended by your reaction to my joke. You just like kind of sat there blankly. I was like, I mean, like I could have tried harder to make that funny, but like.
No, my brain just short-circuited after I read that comment. Okay. Tactical tomatoes, they say. Tactical
Tactical tomatoes. Anyways, back to the murder.
Anyways. So, last hearing we heard of is September 15th. I need to, like, calm down. I need a minute. I need to breathe. Okay. March 10th, 1919, at Gretna, Louisiana, which is across the river from New Orleans. Ooh, this is a sad one. Trigger warning. Stuff happened to children.
Oh, yeah.
So, Rose and Charles Cortimiglia and her 2-year-old daughter Mary were the victims, or attacked in this case. Once again, they were Italian grocer. Rose woke up to Charles fighting the Axeman. He lost the fight, unfortunately. Rose and Mary would then be attacked. Rose and Charles survived, but their 2-year-old daughter Mary didn't.
That's really sad.
Which is really sad. I would have been really sad at that point. The axe used belonged to the Cortimiglias as well. It crushed Rose's skull, and I wrote neighbors suspected the neighbors. No, the Cortimiglias suspected their neighbors. Rose said that it was them, and they were allegedly sentenced to hang because of this. It was an 18-year-old and a 69-year-old who were the neighbors that Rose blamed. Charles denied it and then later divorced Rose because of this lie. And Rose admitted that it was a lie, and the neighbors were not hanged.
The interesting thing about that is, like, do you just, like, I have nobody in my life that I would just be like, if somebody attempted to murder me, I'd be like, it's them. Like, I have no, like, why'd you do that? Also, like, even if it wasn't a lie and she, like, was convinced that it was true, or, like, she wasn't sure, but she was, like, pretty sure that they would do something like that. I don't have anybody that'd be like, yeah, they're probably, like, gonna kill people.
Yeah, and then, Charles was fighting one person, not two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and also, I don't know.
It's just confusing.
Yeah.
And then, ooh, this is my favorite part. I get to read a letter.
Oh, yes, his letters, he kind of reminds me of the Zodiac Killer, but...
Same.
But, like, earlier and with an axe.
Mm-hmm. So 5 days later, the New Orleans paper called the Times-Picayune received a letter from the supposed Axeman. Now, I have quotes explaining and, like, annotating, but I just want to read this full thing, because holy crap, the ego this guy had.
Is there only one letter, or...?
One letter, yes. Okay, it says, I need to, like, read this in, like, my most sinister voice possible to, like, give it its effect.
I'm ready.
Hell, March 13th, 1990. Esteemed mortal, they have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, this besmeared with blood and brains of he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offense at the way they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty, Francis Joseph, etc. But tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born than to incur the wrath of the Axeman. I don't think there is any need of such a warning, for I feel the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the Angel of Death. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time on next Tuesday night, I am going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I am going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared, and whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well, then so much the better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is that some of your people who do not jazz in that specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home, I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish it, that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fantasy. The Axeman.
I mean,
Yeah.
I personally am a fan of jazz, so like I
Same.
appreciate that. Like I get him wanting everybody to jazz it cuz like I want to jazz it, but like
Yeah. That's
not like
terrifying though.
that.
Like
I
this.
want to
I
jazz
want
it.
jazz,
I
but
want to
not like
jazz it with
this.
my own control.
Yes.
I don't want to be forced into jazzing it.
I don't want to be told at this time on this day you gotta jazz it.
Like I want to jazz it when I want to jazz it. You can fuck off.
Exactly.
But if the Axeman of New Orleans came out of wherever he lived, he claims to live in hell. If he came out of hell and was like, "Hey, Atlanteans, what are we?" I just realized I don't know what I think that's right. Atlanteans, people who live in Atlanta. Hey, Atlanteans, jazz it, or I'm gonna axe you. I'd jazz it.
Yeah.
I don't live in Atlanta. It's close enough. But I
Close enough.
like I feel like jazzing it anyways. I don't know. That
Yeah.
was such a weird tangent that I forgot what the point of what I was saying was, so I just like continued to talk. I'm like so brain dead right now, but like that letter made it so much worse.
I was getting brain dead while reading it. I was like, what is this man on about?
He's like, if he wasn't a horrible murderer and he wasn't so like threatening and like a little bit scary in that letter's like fucking hilarious.
It is.
Like if you
If
like
it weren't
if it
threatening
if it
people.
wasn't real, I'd be like wow, that's good comedy right there, sir. But
Mhm.
like it's real.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry, I was just a little
Terrifying.
baffled.
Yeah. So this letter would spark the creation of a song called Don't Scare Me, Papa, which would then become known as the Mysterious Axeman's Jazz.
I think I've listened to that song before.
I
think it was
haven't.
good.
I want to.
I think I made my parents play it one time and they were like, "This is spooky as
Interesting.
fuck." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's still jazzy."
So that Tuesday, which was March 19th, it was said that it was where the city was truly alive, with jazz music being blasted in people's homes. And those who didn't have a record player would go to jazz clubs to be safe from the Axeman's wrath. And nobody was killed that day.
He was probably just
So
like
it
out of
worked.
town. Isn't that what like the BuzzFeed Unsolved people
Yeah,
said? He was just like fucking out of town.
he was just like, I'm gonna pick this day, get the fuck out of town, just cause some havoc, cause
Yeah.
some scare,
Yeah.
like scare the hell out of people.
Yeah.
What a dick. Okay, August 10th, 1919. So almost like a whole year later, after March was the last attack, and then we go August. The victim was Steve Boca. Boca was badly injured in his home after he woke up to a man with an axe standing near his bed. He managed to survive the attack, and he staggered to a friend's home and called the police. Boca did not regain his memory after the attack after that. The police once again found a chiseled back door and a bloody axe.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
It's calling
Just
card.
yeah, that's just gonna give me paranoia of like waking up and seeing somebody standing over my bed. Absolutely the hell not.
Yeah, I hate that.
That's like my worst fear there. My friend Sawyer, um, she came over and she joked, "What if in the middle of the night I woke you up and just stood in front of your door doing a T pose?" And I'm like, I would scream and call the police.
Just your friend is your sleep paralysis demon.
Okay, so on September 2nd, 1919, local pharmacist William Carson fired several shots at an intruder that broke into his home. The intruder left the broken door and axe behind, but wasn't able to get shot, and he escaped. Like, that's some terrible aim.
Yeah.
If you fired several shots and missed every single one, dang, that's worse than my Valorant aim. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm really bad at Valorant, so like I relate to that.
Yeah. Okay, and then the day after that, September 3rd, at 2128 2nd Street, Sarah Lohman was attacked by someone that entered through an open window. So not a door this time. All her doors were locked. But this motherfucker came in through the window this time. Morbid
Lock your
says this all the time.
windows.
Lock your fucking windows. Lock your fucking windows. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Just lock them.
My
There's no
window
reason to
is
keep
like
them open.
broken. But like
Oh.
whatever.
Oh no.
It's on the
Oh.
second floor. There's no way anybody could get to my window. So like I'm chilling.
You're fine.
I don't know. My
Okay.
cat once fell out of my window.
Oh.
Okay, I really need to stop interrupting you. I just keep thinking of random things to say.
It's fine, it's fine.
Okay.
So Sarah was attacked by someone that once again entered the open window. Lock your windows, please. When she regained conscious, she couldn't recall anything about the attack. But she was missing many teeth. And she was attacked with a blunt object and then an axe. And once
It
again,
could have been the
bloody
other side of the axe.
That's true, yeah, I heard about that too. The bloody axe was discovered at the front lot of the building. And then the last attack, which was October 27th, 1919, at the corner of South Scott and Ulloa Street. I think it's Ulloa.
That sounds right.
So the people attacked were Esther and Mike Pepitone. Oh wait, actually just Mike Pepitone, that's why I highlighted it. So Esther and their 6 children were asleep in a different room and were not touched at all. But Esther woke up at 1 a.m. to her husband screaming and running into the bedroom. His head had been struck 18 times and he died 2 hours later. Esther identified 2 figures in the room, but could not identify them as they fled the scene. So like she noticed them but couldn't recall who they were. A heavy nut, which was something to secure circus tents, was one of the apparent weapons. And the interesting fact is a circus going on 2 streets down. So that was a little interesting. $100 were found in cash at the site of what happened, but they were not touched. So once again, this murderer did not have any robbery motivation. He just wanted to kill. So that was the last attack. And then here are the theories. First of all, is the theory that not all of the killings were the work of the Axeman. Some believe that Pepitone's killing was a mafia killing because his father had killed the man in the past.
That's kind of what I think, because it's 2 men and it just seems different than the Axeman. Especially because like the Axeman was probably like huge fucking news at this point. These like mafia people could have been like, well, I can easily get away with murder if I blame it on this other guy that everybody's paying attention to. Or just like anybody, even if it wasn't the mafia. Just like anybody who killed him or any of the other ones could be like, I could just use their MO. Because I'm sure it was 1918, 1919. They weren't like purposefully keeping things out of the press like they do now. So.
Yeah. And then some people scrutinized the attack of Bessemer and Lowe, which was the second.
I can
because Bessemer was charged with the murder of Anna Lowe, in a bizarre fashion. Police found that Bessemer wrote letters back and forth in Yiddish and Russian, and they concluded that he was a part of a German spy ring and that the attack had nothing to do with the Axeman. But how would he bash his own head? That's the thing. Like both
people have done crazier things, like Diane Downs. I want to cover that. Well, I don't know if I want to cover that case at one point because it fucking sucks. But like I'm just gonna say, like, she shot her own kids and then shot herself to say that she got shot. Like, people have done crazier things.
Oh wow.
So like,
yeah. So something are confused on that because of like the fact that his own head was bashed as well. And before dying, Lowe allegedly blamed Bessemer, saying that he was a Nazi spy. And there was theories that it was a domestic dispute where Louis would end up attacking Anna Lowe, and Bessemer was acquitted But the suggestions that it was the Axeman is that it happened at night while they were sleeping, which is
Yeah.
what he did at the
I
previous
can see
attacks.
that. And like of course there is a chance that somebody would bash their own head in like he did, but like
Yeah.
I don't think that that's what happened.
Yeah, me
You
neither.
never
I
know
think it
though.
was most likely the Axeman, yeah.
Yeah.
Second theory is that some of the killings were done by a copycat. And then the next one is the most bizarre one. They believe that the Axeman is a supernatural figure that can sleep in through small areas and turn into a large figure that
It's
people would
fucking
describe the killer to be.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Axeman rhyme.
Man,
Ant-Man and Axeman rhyme.
it's
They both
Ant-Man.
have A's and man. So it's clearly just Ant-Man. It's fucking Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd
Right.
is the
Whoa,
Axeman.
whoa, holy shit!
Did we just
Holy
solve
shit!
this?
We just solved the case.
Paul Rudd is the Axeman of New
Paul
Orleans.
Rudd is the Axeman. Man, holy fuck. We're joking, by the way.
We're done. We don't need to
holy-
do this podcast anymore. Like
we just got a reward. God damn, we just solved the case.
wow, only our third episode and we already solved how long is a decade? Century is a
10
century
years?
100
A century, yeah.
a
It's a century.
centuries old case. Let's ignore that I didn't know that. A centuries old case on our third
Holy
episode.
crap.
Oh my
We're just too
god.
good. We're just too good.
Okay. Anyways,
We're done now.
I do kind of like the one about it being a copycat. I think that I do not believe that it was Paul Rudd though.
Yeah, no, that's not a copy. It's not Paul
Because
Rudd.
Paul Rudd would first of all have to be the Ant-Man in real life, and would second of all be a time traveler.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Avengers Endgame, they did do time travel.
I've never seen that.
You haven't seen Endgame?
No.
Remember me when you appeared on today's show, chats.
Okay, let's just go past the fact that I've never seen Endgame because like
Oh no.
I don't want to get bullied for that. Just continue with the theories.
Okay. So the third and final theory, the most possible one, is that Joseph Mumphrey was the Axeman.
Mhm.
So basically, the last victim's wife, Esther Pepitone, when her husband was murdered, she moved to Los Angeles and remarried. 2 years, exactly 2 years after Pepitone's death, her current husband disappeared. And
Suspicious.
it said that before their marriage, Esther had ended business with a man that went by multiple names, one of them being Joseph Mumphrey. And on December 5th, 1921, Mumphrey had visited Esther at her home at 5554 East 36th Street in LA and demanded $500 in Esther's jewelry and threatened that if she didn't, he would kill her the same way he had killed her husband. Now, which husband is he talking about? We're not sure, but most likely the first one. However, Esther, being the badass that she is, she killed Joseph by shooting him with a revolver.
You could call her a badass, but you could also call that suspicious because now we only have her account.
True.
Her account of saying kill her the same way he had killed her husband. But like her husband disappeared, who's to say that she didn't cause the second husband to disappear? Yeah. I'm not saying she killed her first husband, but I just think that like we could like take that as like, oh, it's Joseph Mumphrey, but we could also take it as like she is the only account of this.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So, who knows?
So given the fact that Esther was present during the killing of her husband when she was arrested for the murder of Joseph, she said that Joseph Mumphrey was the Axeman and had seen him running from her room after her husband had been slain. And LAPD noted that there was evidence linking Mumphrey to the death of Mike Pepitone, and Esther was acquitted from Mumphrey's death. And then one thing that suggests that he might be the Axeman is Mumphrey led a blackmailing gang in New Orleans that targeted Italians.
Also very specific.
Very specific. A blackmailing gang that targeted Italians. And like we said, almost all of the Axeman victims were Italians. And Mumphrey was in and out of prison for the past 10 years of the killings. And his time out of prison coincided with the Axeman attack.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Really interesting. There wasn't enough evidence to link Mumphrey to the attacks. And then there's the fact that Esther claimed that there was 2 people in her room the night her first husband was killed.
That is
So she
also
was
suspicious.
yeah, so
Esther's
she's
kind
either
of
lying.
suspicious. I don't think
Yeah,
she
Esther is
killed her
suspicious.
husband, but like she's a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. So
Just
like
a little
either
bit.
she's lying or the Axeman is more than one person. And those are all the notes.
It's Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
It's Paul Rudd and whoever plays the Wasp.
Wait, who plays the Wasp? Evangeline Lilly. We figured it out,
Evangeline is a
chat.
pretty name. Okay.
It is. We figure it out, chat. Oh wait, no, it's not Evangeline. Wait.
You liar. Wait, hold on.
Hope? I thought Hope was the Wasp.
No, it is Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, it is Evangeline.
Please don't sue us. I'm about to go to college. Does it look like I have money if you're gonna sue me? That was a fun episode. That's a fun case.
Was a fun case.
Like, kind of fun. I mean, like, it's murder. So, like, murder's not fun, but, like, learning
murder
about
is
it
not fun.
Yeah.
But learning about it is interesting.
Okay. We should probably end the...
And then your episodes are both solved. So then you
Yes.
should do the unsolved.
My bonus episode is unsolved because it was
Ooh.
never taken as a case. It was always taken as an accident.
Ooh.
And I don't think it was. It was not an accident. Avalanches don't do that to you. Okay, that's my only... that's my little hint.
Okay, well, that's the end of today's episode,
Yes,
everybody.
that is.
Chat, listeners, watchers. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun researching it.
I had a lot of
enjoyed
fun listening to it and being
Yeah.
funny and saying random things. But
yes,
that episode was fun as it can be as a true crime podcast.
Yeah, as fun as it can be when you're listening to true crime stuff for a lot of time. So I just put it in the chat. But like always, our card with all of our socials, both private and shared, are at tothegravepod.card with 2 R's.co. So yeah, those are all of our socials. We hope you guys have a great day. Lesson learned, please lock your damn windows and don't put a case of tomatoes behind your door. Bye everyone.